Welcome, ghouls, ghoulettes, and guesties to GonstFM Off Air, the official podcast companion to 66.6 GonstFM, the internet radio station dedicated to the band Ghost and the wider Gonst community. I'm Papa X.
And I'm Uncle Ghoul.
And today we are very thrilled to bring you a special guest. We haven't had a guest on the podcast in a little while, but all the way from the UK, I didn't mean to rhyme that, it's just how it happened. So, all the way from the UK, musician, model, and newest member of the ministry / Clergy of Ghost, please welcome Miss Hattie Erawan, aka Judith. How's it going today?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you doing?
We're just hanging out and trying not to sweat to death.
It's very hot. Yeah, I agree. Over here in the UK as well. Yeah. Turned off the fan so we can hear each other.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we have the sacrifices we have to make for you guys out there. Just listen.
We're all doing it.
In fact, you should all turn off your AC while you listen to this episode.
In solidarity, turn off your AC. We'll all be hot together. We're sweating out to...
Yes. Join the sauna.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just call that.
It's a conversation in a sauna.
Let's just call it the sauna cast. There we go.
Talk. Sauna talk.
So, shoot. So in becoming the newest member of the congregation and Ghost clergy, this wasn't always a thing for you. You started out doing modeling and playing music. So where did you get your start playing music?
Good question. It's a simple question, but it's also kind of a hard one to... Well, talking about myself in general is quite hard. But when I started music, I was very lucky, I guess. I figured it out when I was the age of 7. I knew I really liked voices. I really loved Disney. I remember seeing Robin Williams in the studio, the voice, when they do the voiceover stuff. And he was doing the voice of Genie. And I just thought that was the coolest job ever. And that's what I wanted to do. That was my dream. But then I realized later on that actually someone in my class was like, you have a really good singing voice. Why don't you look into singing at the age of 7? Already manager there. So yeah, and it sort of like started from me imitating loads of Disney songs and annoying the hell out of my mum. And then I picked up the guitar when I don't exactly remember, I think 11, to accompany my songs. And yeah, started performing when I was 16. God, this is my life story. Maybe I'm okay talking about myself.
We love it.
And then I moved to London when I was 18 and to study music. And I'm still here. I'm 15 years later. And modeling and acting came after another creative outlet. So that's a little bit about me.
That's really cool. I like that you mentioned that it was Disney stuff that did that for you, because I'm a big Disney fan. And for me, I play music too. And it was a very similar thing where I watched, I had a DVD of, it was like a bonus Little Mermaid thing. Yeah. Sebastian's Party Gras. And I watched that on repeat until the tape broke, and it made me want to learn drums. So it was like watching that. So it's really funny. It's like,
it's amazing. Like I don't think I've ever seen that.
I'll try and find it if I can find a version online, and I'll email it to you.
Oh, yes,
but it's really interesting. It's like all Caribbean songs by the voice actor of Sebastian, and he's just not in character, but he's just singing them and like with drums and percussion and like on an island. It's really cool.
Fantastic. That's such a great way to start music.
It is. I know. It's like all that music in those films were so good that it really inspired you. It's like it's some of the best. We don't talk about that enough, about how good the music is.
God, it really is. It really is. I loved Pocahontas, actually. That was like my knowing every word. Yeah, I loved it. Very emotional. And I've always been very sensitive. And obviously when you're younger, I don't know, obviously, but for me, it was kind of used against me as a you're too sensitive, come on. But it's a power. It's a power because
it is. You can use it, and you can use it to your advantage, especially when you're talking about making music and writing lyrics and things and being in touch with yourself. And you can use it as a superpower, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
we need more people like you around. Like, honestly, there's not enough people that know how to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. People don't. A lot of people don't view view sensitivity or anything like that as like a positive thing. Like, there's so much like hate in the world. It's, you got to put positivity out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, especially when people view it as a weakness, and it's like to be emotional or sensitive or any of these things. And it's like, no, it just means that you're a sympathetic, caring person, which is what we need more of,
Yeah, exactly. The amount of times, like, I guess you knowing where to put your sensitivity as well. That's something I've had to learn growing up. Because in some business situations, you probably shouldn't be so sensitive. I think.
Oh, of course,
sure.
But just knowing where to put it. But that's why art is so good for that, right? So yeah,
art is life.
Art is life. I love that. Yeah, I'm going to start saying that every day.
Good.
I mean, good art is a reflection of life, right? You don't want something sterile. You want someone to put their everything into it. I think that's when people connect with things, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I totally get where you're coming from with that.
Definitely. So I probably should. Well, I was just going to ask about you guys. Like, what do you play? What do you? Yeah, I'm just curious.
Anthony, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. So I played in a lot of blues bands growing up, blues and blues rock, and I played guitar. I played bass in those bands, and I used to do a lot when I was younger, and especially in my like teens to early 20s. I did a lot of touring, doing that in the U.S. and stuff. I used to do the International Blues Challenge every year in Memphis, and so that was a lot of my background. And then I also play drums and guitar, and I teach those at a music school.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's what I do now.
I applaud anyone that can teach because it's a hard skill.
It is. Yeah.
Definitely didn't get that skill. So, yeah, I applaud you. And sorry, you mentioned, Sebastian, that you played the, Richie, you played the... the drums.
I am a crab. Yes, I am Sebastian the crab.
Yes, okay. You are a crab.
Yes,
you're Sebastian. Aha!
That's
oh my god! I'm meeting my idol.
Celebrity.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
child.
expect people to Photoshop Richie's head onto Sebastian the crab by the end of. I want to see everyone who's listening. I expect to see that in the Facebook groups and everything.
Yes, child, please do that. So. But yeah, drums was my first instrument, and growing up here in Louisiana, you're exposed to it all the time. You're exposed to music via if it's like Mardi Gras or Zydeco music or anything of the sort. However, I probably don't reflect being from Louisiana because like once I started playing drums, it was like 8. I was like 8 years old. My father was a musician and was in radio for
nice.
Yeah, he was in radio for 20-something years down here locally. He played all sorts of instruments, and I guess passed that on to me because like I started playing drums whenever I was 8, and then I was like 14. He thought I was decent enough at guitar to buy me my first own, like my very own like Fender Stratocaster. So I started playing guitar and bass and keyboards around 14, 15 years old, and I was in choir ever since I can remember from childhood onward. So jack of all trades, probably master of none. Drums are the instrument I'm the most confident at playing, that's kind of my thing. And I played in a lot of metal and hardcore bands for about, 12 years, and became a dad and said, I am going to do podcasting so I can be involved with entertainment at, in some form or fashion. And, like I said, my dad was doing radio, and I watched him doing that pretty much my entire life. So I was like, I think I could probably do this. So that's a little bit about me.
Oh, amazing. Oh, so cool. So cool. I grew up with a family of non-creative. Well, I'm sure they are. Like everyone's got a bit of creativity in them, I guess, if whether you awaken it or not. But I'm from a family of restaurant. I'm a restaurant baby, so my mum had 4 Thai restaurants. So I would always be one of those kids that would write in the restaurant. In like the room where mum would be like, go hide in there, customers can't see you. So I'd always have that sort of a little outlet that way. But no, I've always I just loved families playing together. I was always a little bit jealous, I guess. But you know what? I wouldn't be the person I am today. So it's the stories I write and everything like that. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No, it's okay.
That's what we want.
Rambling, but no, it's very interesting, right? Because you mentioned that you come from a restaurant family, it shapes the stories that you write. Because I've seen videos of you performing and stuff, and I've heard some of your songs, and it's very you write from a very personal, it seems, side of things. When you're writing music, how does that, how do you do it? What's the process for if you were going to write, a song for yourself? Is it something that you were doing where it's, a specific memory, or is it more so storytelling of, what's your process for that? I'm curious.
Well, the videos you've probably seen they're quite old. So that music, I was in, like, childhood is always like confusing, obviously. And I guess then I just had a lot of time on my own. So I'm so happy that like games and all of that weren't allowed, that I had the guitar and Disney and, singing, I guess. And just a lot of time on my own, and just it would probably start from, a lot of my songs are sad, so it probably could, which is weird because I'm the most happiest person ever.
That's how it goes. That's how it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I can't even explain it. It's just getting to that feeling, which the more stable I'm getting, the songs are harder to write now, which I'm trying my hardest to. I'm doing a lot more collaborations at the moment, which is where it feels I need to be, and it's working well. So it's just, I'm on a different journey at the moment, more co-writing than writing in a room alone. And it's really taught me, because I've really learned to write with a lot of songwriters in a very chaotic room, which was like the complete opposite from the songs that you have listened to. So I don't even know if that answered your question.
No, it did. Do you, like, so, your lyrics, right? Do you write, let's say you were writing a song back then, right? Do you write the lyrics first, or is it the music first for you? Is this type of thing where you're journaling and poem and they become songs, or are they more so that you're just sitting down to write a song?
God, I wish I was a poet. No, I guess I would. Yeah, I journal a lot when I was younger, but it was never to my songs or anything. I'd never grab those words out of my diary. But it would start with chords and then melody. I'd probably mumbling over the top for a bit, and then some words that been fixated on for a few months probably, and or a saying that I've seen, and it just sort of formed from that. And the thing is, I wouldn't remember what I was feeling in that moment, but the older I get, the songs do start to, they mean something else. It's whatever you feel it means to you. I can never say to someone, this is what it means. That's what I really found hard when I was performing on stage. People would say I'd have to, can you talk about your songs a bit more? But I wouldn't really know what to say about them. It was just depending on how I was feeling that day, I guess, if I'm making sense.
Yeah. Do you find it harder to connect to those older songs now that you're older?
I do. Yes, I do. Because I'm not in that place anymore. I still love them. There's still a lot of love for them. And I would definitely play them again, maybe differently. I'd love to have a band, just to be a lot more social, but at the same time, I'm very introverted, but just it's nice having people having your backs now, if that makes sense. So people that believe in you, and I love collaboration at the moment. So, I mean, that's what got me to working with Ghost, and just love collaboration. I honestly, I love that job, by the way. I like the feedback. I'm so over the moon. You guys have all been really nice to me. I was so happy to see your email. Thank you for that, by the way.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yes, we were very excited.
Yeah, because for those of you out there listening, before we started talking, here on air, we were explaining to Hattie how it's an event when any new actor or actress comes along on a chapters video or a music video, or a character is introduced in some form or fashion. It is an entire event the fandom is always welcoming with open arms, and we are always very excited because not only does that mean, hey, we have a new character, but that means there's more story to unfold and there's more of a mystery, because Ghost has been always, a very mystery-filled band with certain aspects. Yep. So in terms of you becoming part of all of this machine, because let's be honest, it's a machine.
It's a machine. Yeah.
How did you come across it? Was this like an open casting call? Was this something that maybe somebody cold called you? Have you been a fan of the band before this? How did that come along?
Had you heard of them?
I heard of them, but didn't know. I wasn't a fan. I am a fan now, but the casting, it was a strange one because I wasn't. It was all very mysterious, like you said, and I was like, "What is this? What's going on?" I was going like thinking I wasn't going to really do much, to be honest, much acting, and I turned up and I had these lines and was really involved and came to a wonderful film set, and it was all a surprise. And that's the beauty of acting and modeling. You don't know what you're doing until you get there. And it's just mad that I was, it's one of those where I wasn't sure and was kind of hesitant, but then it's become this beautiful thing. And, sometimes you think something is going to help your career and that never works out. The obvious thing sometimes. I've been in those situations and it's just never worked out. But it's just one of those wonderful. I'm trying to find help me here, find a good word. Wonderful.
Blessing or experience. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'll say it was amazing. When that video came out and you had posted, someone sent me that post because obviously I've been a big fan of the band for a long time, and I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. And I went to your page and I could watch in real time your follower count go up. It was crazy to see. Because I sent it to Richie and your account, and I was like, "Oh, we should reach out." And I was like watching, and I was like, "Oh no, you're going to be too big for us by the time
No,
I was like,
never.
I was watching it going up, and I was like, "Oh, we might have lost our shot here." It was just funny. I was like, "We might have lost the window there." But on the other hand of that, it was beautiful to see how everyone immediately accepted you. I have a lot of friends who were like, "I immediately need to draw you." And we're like, I need to do art. And we're just obsessed with, oh my God, she's so pretty. She's so everyone immediately, really gravitated towards you and was like, this is the best character. And also saying, wow, I can't believe we have more female characters in this story, and in these that we can relate to, because there's primarily a lot of the fan base for this band is female people, especially now. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people feel like, we had a couple of characters, but having more is another nice thing of kind of a more, metal and rock is so male dominated now. It has been for years, and it's nice to just see people even in the videos that it kind of holds true to what Ghost has always been about, which is empowerment of that. Yeah. So it's just nice to see that.
Well, I have no words. I'm very happy to be a part. So, yeah.
Well, I know there's probably, not too much you can say about that, but I'd be curious about so when you were going to do the filming, did you know it was an acting thing, or you mentioned that there were lines? Did you know maybe it was just modeling, or how did that work? What was the pretense for showing up?
I thought I just some background stuff, really. And then how Tobias works, he kind of figures out your vibe. So I guess he liked me, and he said that I'm really fun to act with, and that was really lovely to hear. So
was that kind of an audition process where you were with him and maybe you were trying things or just trying things out, or was it until you got to the day of the shoot where it was like, okay, this is where we're gonna kind of maybe have
the day of the shoot? I just came in. I didn't know who he was. I shook his hand with a big smile, and then
was he in costume for that?
He was not.
Okay.
But I was actually expecting people to be in costumes. Well, obviously later on, because I must have got something a little bit like it's Ghost, the band, Grammy Award winning, and you're like, oh, okay. So you Google, and I was expecting to see the whole get up. But no, everyone was like still waking up on a Monday morning. So
it had to be a fun experience to meet Tobias, obviously out of character and stuff. And then like once he puts on the Frater Imperator costume, it's like a total transformation. Like was it kind of surreal, like kind of seeing that happen in real time?
It really was. It really was. He becomes a complete different person, obviously. He's so nice as well. Like he's just very kind. You could see that he's got a very kind heart. But and also Cardi is very nice as well. I loved Cardi. I just really felt warm, I just want to look after you,
He's so precious, It's one of the things we've been fans for a while and gotten to know all these characters and stuff, and it was such a surreal experience to see him interacting with you on screen, because this is, well, not in the way of like, it was just seeing him interact. Usually when we see him interact in videos, other side, sometimes in meet and greets and things, but he's interacting with characters that we've known, the parents, Garrett's sister and Nil, and that's pretty much it. But seeing him in this, one thing I love about this video in particular, chapter 20, is all of these characters, you all are so human. And he's this kind of otherworldly character, and it's kind of an interesting thing of just like, he's awkward and he trips while he's walking up to, to meet you and everything. And it's just kind of funny seeing this character that we see on stage all the time, or we see in the chapters and in this kind of surrealist ministry, just interacting with a real world people, and it's kind of like when you put a cartoon character in the real world, and it's just kind of like, in the best possible way. Like it's just very interesting.
To bounce off of that, to keep that going, it is interesting because the ministry has moved locations to a brand new shooting spot, and it's a stark contrast from what we've known before. So it even more, Cardi sticks out like a sore thumb, with these these blue walls and this really classic looking stuff, and like all these human characters, and he seems like out of his element because that character is now not the front man of the band anymore. He's now, he's got the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. So, when the Judith character,
it's been so long since we had a new character too.
When the Judith character got introduced, there was a shroud of mystery about it. Was there any type of outline for this character, or is it just like, here's what you know now, and we'll fill you in later if there's anything else?
Here's what you know now, and we'll fill you in later. I'm still learning about Judith. And that's it really. And I watched all the chapters afterwards, and got up to date. And now I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm hearing you guys talk about it as well. I'm still very slow as well, as in it's not a bad thing, but I take my time to really understand things. So it's so fascinating to hear that though, about putting him in a different. I can see the change for sure from the chapters before and the characters, but us being very human, being at work. For me, being the new girl, I hate that feeling, but I sort of put that energy into coming, which I was, turning up as the new girl. So
well, that's what I was wondering about, is how much of the character that we've seen so far, right? I just presume that there will probably be some more. This is not the last we've seen of you. But how much of it do you feel like is you, and how much of it is the direction you were given? Like, how much are you putting into it already? Do you have any liberty there, or?
So do you mean how are we similar, or
when you're playing the character, are these things that, are you fully a character, or is there a bit of it that you're like, I can put myself in the shoes of this character, and so this is how I would react to this, and
Yeah. Well, I feel Judith is definitely a lot more confident than me. I mean, she's got a sassy ponytail that I've started to wear, by the way. I never used to put my hair up like that. So that's definitely something I've taken away from Judith. Still getting to know Judith. This is the thing.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
She's probably, a lot more. Well, I would never work in an office. I would be terrible in, no one should ever hire me to be in an office. I've done it once and I'll never do it again. It didn't last long.
So speaking of working in an office, I just had this realization. Cardinal Cardi reminds me of freaking Michael Scott from The Office sometimes when he's
there's Office vibes in this. There's a lot of Office vibes in this. I remember saying that too. It's like
that was my actual. That's how I look at it. Or What We Do in the Shadows.
Love that series. Great,
absolutely fantastic series. Yeah.
Love that.
That's what it reminded me of. So I've kind of like sort of tried to use dry humor as well, which is it was very much like that. Working with Tobias for this, so I sort of had that in mind, basically that sort of humor. Yeah, fantastic.
You were a phenomenal addition to the family. Like we're all so happy to have you.
Thank you. Happy to be a part of it.
Another thing you did too is you did that episode of GTV for that.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask.
What was that? Yeah, I was really curious how that came to be. I don't know what
you're talking about.
Oh.
Really? Sorry, what was your question? There's
that one episode of the GTV where you show up, with Vanessa Warwick and you hand an envelope. How did that happen?
I just got a call. Could I come to Wembley? Yeah, the Apollo? O2, yeah, Wembley. Could I turn up? And I met Vanessa. We acted a few things out and was asked, would you like to come and watch the show? It was just like that, really.
Right on.
It was pretty like
kind of on the fly, kind of, like, hey, we're in town, you're in town, let's do something.
Yeah, exactly. We're in town. Would you? Yeah, exactly. Meet Vanessa. You'll probably be working with her, and she's great. She's a very interesting person. I've got a few like tips from her. So yeah, super.
Vanessa gives off cool mom vibes, honestly.
She really, cool
metal mom.
Yeah, and kind of a small world as well. I think she said her niece works with the guy that I'm working with in music, so it's just all like, fun,
Oh wow.
Yeah, small world. So
it's all happening.
It's all happening.
It's all happening
exactly. All happening. Yeah.
Well, I have to ask: did you enjoy the show? What was the show like for you?
Oh, it's fantastic. It was so refreshing to see everyone off their phones. It just looked amazing. I just was blown away. I felt really, it inspired me. I really wanted to be on stage actually. Not to steal the show or anything. Just I meant like I wanted to do something like that. That's where I want to be, because obviously I'm a musician first. Yeah.
And that's great. That's the feeling you want to get when you go to a concert. That's the feeling I got going to concerts. I know Anthony gets the same feeling. And I've been to several concerts where the band themselves are like, hey, if you haven't and you want to, start a band or learn a musical instrument, do it, because like you will never look back, and it is one of the most fun and really self-educational forms of art. I'm self-taught all my music. I didn't take any classes or anything. And like that was just kind of a pick it up and learn it. So I tell people all the time, like, if my dumbass can pick up a pair of drumsticks and learn it, like, dude, go put your favorite records on with a set of headphones and just do it. Like nothing is going to stop you. Just do it,
I was the same way with drums. I had never taken. I took one drum lesson, and in that drum lesson, my drum teacher was on the cell phone with his girlfriend fighting the entire time, and I never went back.
That's professional.
Yeah, I know, right? And I never went back. And I went home and I put on a Kiss VHS tape, and I just watched it and just tried to copy everything. And that was how I learned how to play drums. And then I've been doing that at local studios and things since then. So
fantastic.
I'll round this out because you guys were talking about the Disney inspo earlier. I had Disney inspo, but my journey with music and stuff, I remember this very vividly. I used to have this I think it was like a Bozo the Clown drum set that my parents bought me. I was like 2, okay? And there's somewhere out there on the internet, probably like my personal page, like there's somewhere out there picture of me floating around with me playing like the drums on that. But I used to put on this Hanna-Barbera VHS tape, right? And I promise this is going somewhere, because the first thing that I recall from any of this is Rockwell's Somebody's Watching Me. And I would beat the crap out of my drum kit to that. And lo and behold, the Hanna-Barbera cartoon that was placed over that, Scooby-Doo. So obviously, we have come full circle with the Scooby-Doo chase music stuff. So here we are. we have all been led to this band somehow.
Yeah, a small world again.
Yeah.
Well, it's great because this community in general, I know that you're brand new to it. It's brought so many people together. I mentioned I don't know if I've said it before on this show, but I met my wife because of this band, and we got married because of it. And so there's and I met Richie, who's one of my best friends, and it's everyone comes together through this, and and just being excited about it. And it's kind of just a beautiful thing of how music and fandom and culture and all this can bring people together. And like you said, small world is sometimes you just find like, oh, well, I know this person, I know that, and it's kind of a crazy thing that way, is how music and art can we can all relate to something and pull something out of something like that, even if Definitely. It didn't fully know the meanings, which kind of goes back to what you were saying before about how people ask you to explain the meanings of your song. Well, it's all kind of interpretive up to the person. What you were feeling then might not be how you feel about it now.
Yeah.
And someone else might listen to that and be like, okay, well, that's the point of my life where I really relate to that, or in that spot that you were when you wrote that, and maybe interpret it differently. So it's music is beautiful that way.
Yeah, definitely. Do you so are you both you both play by ear? You don't know any theory?
I know theory roughly. I went to school. I did go to college for music. I have an understanding of it, but more often than not, just from habit, I'm still learning by ear.
Okay.
Depending on supplemental. Like I use it more supplemental. Like if I'm learning something and I really just can't figure it out by ear, then I'll look at like notation. I was in marching band and other stuff in high school and everything, and concert bands. So, I do have a background in, sheet music and stuff like that. But on the most part, I'm just kind of making things up or following along. And that way I've been able to figure it out. Is once I knew like on guitar, where all the notes are on the fretboard, and I can figure out, okay, well, that's a G, I can then figure out, the rough shape of things.
Yeah. Are you happy that do you feel you're more creative if you don't know if you don't sort of like, oh, this chord will go with this chord, know all the recipes basically? Do you feel like you can actually play? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think for sure it gives me more outside of the box thinking sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I always do still tend to follow things like the circle of fifths, is helpful and stuff like that. But at the same time, for me, usually what I do when I'm writing anything is I hear a melody in my head, and then I try and figure out what chords fit under that, Right. So it's kind of a weird way of doing it that way. But by that, usually they kind of fit, But I do find that, at least in my opinion in music, is that I think that music theory is a great thing. But at the same time, sometimes you can get really reliant on just copying things as opposed to being able to come up with things yourself. Sometimes when I'm teaching students, they'll be like, they can play an amazing guitar solo that they learned, but they learned it all through either tablature or notation, and they don't know what the actual notes are and what they do because they just copy being able to read it. So I think that there's limitations in everything like that. And sometimes creativity is being outside of the box and just making weird noises and seeing, oh, that's cool. I don't know what chord this is, but it sounds good.
Yeah. I've had
really
some quite insane songwriting techniques, I guess. One of my singing partners, he talks about how he has done a 3-day non-sleep songwriting session. And you have actually someone to keep you awake. But in those moments, you kind of, because you're going into sleep, but you're in a weird state, you can really find, this is not to do with theory, obviously, but it popped up in my mind. But I'm sure, I don't think I'd like to do it though. I like my sleep.
Yeah, I wonder if that induces delirium, when you get kind of this weird kind of, that'd be cool.
I've had some of the strangest ideas with no sleep at all. Because I got a buddy I got a buddy I write music with, and to bounce off of Anthony with kind of playing by ear, that's kind of how I completely do it. Is I know a little bit about it. I can read music if I have to. I choose not to because I'm very stubborn like that. But it was for me. It was both. I learned it that way, and then I was kind of forced to do it that way. So growing up, I would play along with records, right? I would play along. I put CDs on my Walkman, and I would play along with AC/DC. And then I was like, oh, Rush is really cool. So I just moved over to that, and I kind of learned everything in between. But that taught me how to just get around the kit, right? And later, we would write music with people. I would write music with my band, and I would be there and I would write the stuff and we would demo it out, right? But if we had a cover song, this is where I'm going with it. If we would have a cover song, I didn't have access to my kit 24/7 like I used to growing up, right? So my drums were at my singer's house. So I would literally memorize everything by ear on repeat with a song, and then I would show up either to a practice or a gig and just nail it right out of the park, because I just was like, oh, I know the song. I know I know how to work it around on my drum set. I can play an Iron Maiden song on a 4-piece drum set. I can make it work. I don't care, So that's what we did, and that's fun for me. I love having a challenge, whether it's playing live or writing. I love being unconventional, and that's how I write. I don't because that band had stuff that was not traditional. We didn't have verse, chorus. We had like a string of sections, and we blended it somehow, and it was fun. So yeah. Sorry for everybody out there listening. We're going on a huge music tangent, but hey, this is what you get when you listen to 3 musicians.
Fantastic,
it is. Yeah.
No, it's super cool.
Everyone does things differently, and it's really interesting to hear how each person does things, and kind of talk. Like, I think when you get 3 musicians in a room, it's inevitable to have a conversation about how do you do that? How do you do this? And how does your art come out? Because in art in general, is everyone kind of has their own way. There's no right or wrong way. There's no right or wrong. It's all subjective. So everything, how you do things is, up to you. And that's the cool thing about art and music and in anything, and I'm sure that's the case in, acting or modeling, is that you kind of find things that work for you that might not work for other people.
Yes, definitely. You get to know with modeling, you get to know your angles, you get to know what's your selling point, and you just learn it all on the way. I'm getting a lot of people asking me on how to, for example, I've been complimented on what I wear and my style. There's a lot of people that ask me about that, but that's, for me, it's hard to tell someone it comes from self-expression, right? So you just got to find your own way. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's been my life as well, just sort of faking it until I make it. I'm like, with modeling, if you know me, it's really not, it doesn't go with my personality, because really I don't actually like the camera in my face, but it's weird that I choose this path. So if you can just, I don't know, find what you're comfortable with as well, I guess. Like, you don't have to do what I do, but I can't imagine myself. Like I said, I'd be terrible in an office. And these creative jobs are sort of the only, I don't see myself doing anything else. So
I'm curious with modeling, right? I'm far from the most educated person on that field, but I've always wondered, do you find it at all like difficult as far as it being a competitive field? Is there issues with like unrealistic standards from people? Like, I know that there's been issues in the past and different controversies and things in, especially in the States with modeling stuff, where you are. Do you ever find that it's hard to, do you ever get discouraged with it? Or is it just something that, what is it like? Like, what is it like to do that? Is it something that's kind of, does it hurt your self-esteem at all ever when you don't get a gig or something? Where, how do you deal with that of doing,
Yeah, there's obviously, a lot of rejection. But I kind of had that with music anyway. I already know, and being in London, any big city, right? I moved here 15 years ago, having a dream in music, and you sort of, I've built 15 years of rejection, if that makes sense. To be, I'm very sensitive, but I am tough. It's made me tough, but not enough to obviously not have my sensitivity, because that's really important to me. But so I guess with modeling, I mean, obviously it's very like about your looks, whether people say or not. I know that people say the times have changed, but I feel like we're kind of going backwards a little bit with it. I came back from Thailand, and that's definitely like how it used to be apparently in the 90s. My partner works in fashion. He's a casting director. So how I described what Thailand was, which is that, they told me to drop 2 kilos. I didn't take it as an offense. It's just different beauty standards. I just learned to sort of not take it to heart, really. You can't really, it's a job, and I am quite bulletproof with it. And also, like, it's not personal. It's sometimes they really like you, but it's not what their vision was. So they're looking for something to, and they've got to please, the clients and the storyboard, and so it's. But don't get me wrong, it's a tough industry. I always tell people before they, when they have an interest. My niece, for example, she's 16, and I didn't start when I was a teenager, so that's another different thing, and you're so confused about yourself around that age. I always tell people, like, be prepared for rejection, and it's not something that happens overnight. You definitely have to build your confidence, build your portfolio, and that's a little bit. I can't remember what your question was. This is what happens.
You answered it perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, that was exactly it. I was just kind of, wondering about, what it was like to do it, and I do want to know if you had any advice for anyone who was going to go into that field. Do you have any advice you would say if someone would be listening who wants to get into modeling or acting or any of that?
Yeah, definitely don't compare yourself to other people. Sometimes I know I used to do this at the beginning. I'd be on set and really look at the other models or actors and be like, oh my God, they're so talented, they're so beautiful. But really, they could be also thinking that about you. I guess just be on your own journey, just focus on you and don't worry about that stuff. I guess that's it really. Just definitely just go for it. There's no right or wrong. Yeah. I don't know if I give good advice, but that's does that help? I know.
I mean, I think
it does. Yeah,
I think that's probably the best advice that you can give anybody. Honestly, is just to kind of carve your own path, do your own thing, and stay true to yourself. Really,
it really does come down to that. Yeah, for sure. And that's it just all relates to each other as well. Music and any sort of creative stuff, right?
It's all art. It's just, different avenues of that. Yeah, it's just different avenues of it. And it's cool that you've found a way to really just do all of it, honestly. Like that is that is something, me personally, like that is something I would know I'll never do, is combine a bunch of that. I tend to stick to the stuff that I know I'm good at, and it's hard for me to break outside of my comfort zone at times to try stuff.
It's scary,
but it's good to do that. I think probably one of the best pieces of advice I have ever gotten from literally anybody was when it comes to comfort zone, breaking your comfort zone. It's if you feel not necessarily afraid, oh, I'm not going to do this, it's going to be a detriment, but if you are tepid about maybe doing something, maybe that means you should try it, because maybe you're just kind of afraid of actually the not the failure aspect, but just the rejection aspect of it, which you don't know unless you try, is kind of what it boiled down to. They were you don't know until you try it.
Exactly. I think just don't take it so seriously as well. I think a lot of casting directors just want to see if you're up for a laugh or whatever. I'm not going, please don't ask me to do it, but I actually had to do a casting in an American accent. So, and I was terrified, and it's a full-on monologue, but I was up for it. Scary, but I like a challenge, and yeah, I mean, you don't know until you try, like you said.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to hear that, because I can't
imagine that. I don't know if I got the job.
Well, yeah, because the thing is for me at least, every time I see anybody from Europe or the UK or anywhere over there do an American accent, they always knock it out of the park. And anytime I see somebody over here try to do the opposite, I'm like, what?
Mine's horrible. I would never even try and insult you with mine. I had a friend who lived in London, and they were like, "Can I hear your British accent?" And I was like, "Nope." Nope. And they convinced me to do it, and they were like, "That's horrible." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I have no idea. I live in Massachusetts,
dude. I'm from Louisiana, and I can't even properly make fun of my own state. Okay, that tells you. I'm
terrible with accents, so anyone who can do that is impressive. Even if you can just get by, I can't even do a Southern accent. Howdy, partner.
Howdy.
There's nothing there.
Howdy,
just
partner.
Say words. Just lower my voice. This town ain't big enough for the two of us.
I tell you what, though, my mouth really hurt afterwards, though. You definitely use different muscles in the mouth.
It's so interesting to know.
Really?
Maybe that's why my mouth hurts sometimes.
I didn't realize how lazy the English accent was. So, I feel anyway. I definitely felt like I was using a lot more.
I love this so much.
That's an amazing thing to hear. I'm crying. I like that we put effort.
It's true.
It's the audacity of how we speak and our tone. We're just aggressive. It hurts your jaw.
I didn't mean it that way.
No, it's great. We love this. This is fantastic. It definitely just like, how dare you make fun of my mouth there, son?
I'm very my accent, my American guns and.
Yeah, I've got to be careful what I say.
No.
Nobody pokes fun at themselves more than we do. I promise you.
That's great. That's good.
Well, it's just funny because you have such a beautiful, delicate accent. And like when we Americans don't, so hearing you with like I'd love to hear you try and do an American Southern accent one day.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. One day we'll get you like doing like deep South, like. You know?
Oh my god!
I'm
up for a challenge.
There you go.
Float that.
Adaptable.
Float that to a Frater next time. Like you guys are hanging out.
You see Cardi, be like, hey, maybe we should make Judith Southern. You know?
Yeah, that's her true identity.
Gotta go. You gotta go undercover with that secret agent thing. You gotta adapt. And you gotta
imagine
Southern Baptist.
Suddenly, where did that come from?
Excuse me. You have a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior, Frater Imperator. You know. So, good Lord.
Oh my God.
We really appreciate you. Seriously, like taking the time out of your day to come hang out and talk with us. This has been an absolute joy.
Oh, no, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you both.
Do you have a particular social media platforms that anybody that would like to follow you or connect to what you're doing that they can follow you, that you would like for them to do?
Yes. I mean, my Instagram, that's where I'll probably be. So yeah, my Instagram, I haven't got anything to promote, but things are in the works. Some new music, no date yet, but if you like pop music, I know maybe this isn't the right channel for it. But,
yes, it is.
No, yeah. It is. It absolutely is.
Look, from a grown-ass man that can listen to the heaviest of death metal that will happily pop in an Aqua CD on any given day of the week.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm a big fan of like, especially like modern dark pop and like Billie Eilish and stuff like that. So like all types of, yeah. Or anything like, music is music. And I anything from blues to country to, I'll do listen to anything. So I'm excited to hear whatever you have coming up next.
Well, yeah. Stay tuned. That's all I can say. And Instagram and music to come.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Well, once again, Hattie, we thank you so very much for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And
thank you for bearing with us and thank you for dealing with the heat.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem. Thank you so much.
And once again, if you'd like to follow Hattie on her Instagram account, that can be found in the show notes below. For past, present, and future episodes of GonstFM Off Air, you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. You can leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. You can leave us a rating and leave comments on individual episodes on Spotify. And if you're listening to this episode on our YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, clicking the bell for notifications for future episodes, leaving a like on the video, or leaving a comment down below. Any engagement helps. If you would like to come to a future GonstFM Station Head radio ritual, if you would like to buy GonstFM merchandise, or if you would like to join the groups Ghost Cosplay and the official GonstFM group, GonstFam, all of this information can be found in our Linktree link in the show notes below. And so, our dearest Godslings, that brings this week's episode to a close. Some of you we will see in Internet Land, and the rest of you we will see in Ghost Cosplay or GonstFam. Take care of yourselves out there. And remember, until next time, in Gonst, we trust. I'm Papa X.
I'm Uncle Ghoul.
And we'll catch you next time.